Good morning from sunny Bali. Here we are again, my very last day in Bali. And I've been sitting here this morning getting ready for this, and I'm fine to talk to you guys about my subject today, but I'm feeling quite emotional. My friends are here, we're going to go to church afterwards, and you know, the Unlikely Pilgrim's last snapshot of faith is here, and I cannot believe that 11 months has passed by here in Bali. And this week, while I've been packing up and putting memories in boxes again and subjecting myself to a ridiculous amount of change again, I've been quite reflective. And so what I wanted to speak to you about this morning, hi Sam, hi Millie, g'day Nikki. What I want to talk to you about this morning is choices, because 12 months ago I was in Brisbane and I made a choice. I made a choice to leave my city, to leave my country, to leave my career, my relationship, my family, my friends, and leave everything that I had known behind. And it was a really difficult choice. And when I got here to Bali, I was worried about that choice a lot. And I was worried because emotionally I was confused about what I had decided to do. Financially, I was worried because I had, left my career, which was going quite well at the time, and I wasn't going to be working here. So I was worried about spending my money, and I was worried about if that choice was going to impact my life for the rest of it. And it has. It absolutely has. And since that day, or since when I moved here, I've made a series of choices. Like we all do every day, life presents us with choices, a series that we have to choose, from what we want for dinner to where we're going to go next. And I chose to train, and I chose to teach English, and I chose to try yoga, which I love, and I chose to travel, and I chose to meet new people, and I also chose to explore my faith some more and to explore other people's faiths, it seems, which is quite unexpected. And that got me thinking about this choice of religion that we have. And in lots of parts of the world, we do have a choice to choose our religion. Some parts of the world, it's not as easy to make a choice, and it's more put upon you of what your religion will be. And certainly as a 33-year-old woman from Australia, I definitely have the choice to choose my religion. But I wonder if we say that we have a choice, but really, do we? Do we choose? Because I grew up in a Christian house. I went to Catholic schools. I lived in a Christian nation, and I wonder if I chose to speak English as my first language, or if I chose to really love warm climates, or if I chose to walk or crawl, or if I am a product of my environment. Because had my parents been talking to me in Italian from birth, then I probably wouldn't have the choice to have my first words in Italian or my first language to be Italian. That would just be the product of my environment, that I would speak Italian, which I'm not going to try and learn, but it would be interesting to do so. So I was thinking about choices, and I was culturally Christian till I was about 22, 23, and it's been the last 10 years that I've really chosen to be a Christian and chosen to be closer to God, and I'm happy with my choice. But I wonder if that's an easy choice for me, because I I'm familiar with Christianity, and that's what I know is Christianity. Because if I was born in Saudi, would I have grown up a Christian? Probably not. If I was born in China, would I have been raised a Christian? Maybe. If I was born and raised in Myanmar, would I be anything other than a Buddhist? And this is what's quite interesting, because yes, we do have the choice, but sometimes what we know and what we are familiar with is the choice that we make, because it's easier. And I was also thinking about, other religious choices, like the burqa, for example. Some of you will argue that it's not a choice to wear a burqa and women are forced to do that. But maybe, France or Germany are thinking about it, or other places where, the burqa is banned or looking to be banned, is because it's unfamiliar to those cultures. And, people say they don't like it, and it makes them fearful, and it doesn't belong in their society. And that's their opinion to say that. But is it just because it's unfamiliar? I know that when I first moved here to Bali, I certainly didn't appreciate at Galungan and other festivals throughout the year when pigs are slaughtered on the street, because it is unfamiliar to me. I get my sausages from the butcher and I don't want to know where they came from. And it was confronting, and I didn't like it. And I still don't particularly like it, because it's not what I know. And g'day Mitch, how you going? It's foreign to me to see that. But the Balinese Hindus aren't particularly bothered about seeing pig's blood running down the street, because it's familiar to them. And maybe, in Muslim countries, maybe they're not used to short shorts walking down the street, which is not something that I recommend. It's disrespectful, but maybe that's foreign to them. So it's not necessarily about what's right or what's wrong, or what belongs in which society or which culture. Maybe it's about familiarity and what's easy because we know it, and things like, I don't know, anything that's not familiar with you. When you move to a foreign place, it's unfamiliar. When you go to a foreign place, it's unfamiliar, and you might feel a bit of trepidation about that. Or I came back from Mexico, and on my way to Mexico, I was terrified because I'd heard nothing but scary things about Mexico, and it was fine. I had a great time. I kept my wits about me, and there was plenty of things that I saw that were unfamiliar, and they're all Catholics, so, or Christians of one denomination or another for the most part. So their religion is the same as mine, but their culture and their country runs differently to mine. And it took me a bit of time to accept that and be comfortable in that environment. So, I'd love to hear about what your faith is, or is it the same as your family, your community, your friendship group? I know my girlfriend Gaynor, she grew up in a Christian household in England, but as an adult she identified and connected with the teachings of Buddha. So she's a Buddhist, and that's her choice, and that's fantastic. But maybe Gaynor is the exception rather than the rule, because certainly a lot of people that I know, like when we were saying last week when I was quite vocal about my opinions on interfaith marriage, and how that my choice to marry whoever I would like is mine and mine alone. When we were saying about Indonesia, it's easier if you're in Bali just to be a Hindu. And it's probably easier if you're in Jakarta to be a Muslim, because the community is predominantly one of those religions in those places. And while we are having these discussions about the choice to be whatever religion we like, do we actually take that decision? You know, if you were hi Evie, hi Portia, my nieces have just tuned in, cutie patooties. You know, that choice is ours to have, but maybe our environment shapes our choices. You know, when I was moving to Bali, it was a difficult choice for me, and I was fearful and full of angst and worried about that choice. But in saying that, I've done big moves before. So that familiar feeling of angst and that familiar feeling of concern and worry and trepidation is familiar to me because I'm used to it. So maybe it was easier for me to make that move to Bali than it would be for somebody who's born and bred in Sydney, never left their town, never left their environment. That decision to move to another country would probably be far more difficult for them than it was for me. Or, you know, I have the choice as a Christian on a Hindu island in a Muslim country to choose any religion I like, but is it easy to be a Christian in Pakistan? Probably not. Is it easy to be a Muslim in America today? A little less than it was a few months ago. So, you know, that decision to go against the crowd or go against your community, your family, your friendship groups is quite difficult. So, yeah, that's just something I wanted to talk to you about today, because I think that everybody makes choices every day, and I'm certainly going to question people about their faith and ask them, you know, great, you're a Christian, great, you're a Buddhist, great, you're a Hindu. How did you come up with that? Have you explored that decision, or was that a decision that was made from your environment as a young child? You know, are you happy with that decision? And just really explore that, because I think it's really interesting. Just a final thought, a friend of mine, Matt, he was telling me about a girl he met this week or last week who was raised by a Christian mother and a Muslim father, I think, from memory. And when she was 5 years old, they gave her the choice, pick a religion. So she picked Christianity. And I thought, wow, is it a 5-year-old's best decision time to be choosing a religion? Is it because Christmas was around the corner? Is it because Ramadan was around the corner? Is it because she just felt a bit more connected to her mum at 5 years old? So it'd be interesting to see if that Christian choice, if it was presented to her at 18, which way it would go. Because I think, you know, you get older and wiser, and you question your beliefs a little bit, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just, it just always is, and that's just the way you follow that path. I certainly am happy with my path, and I've pulled apart my path, and next year I'll be learning about lots and lots of other pathways to God, and I feel strongly convicted in my choice because I've spent a lot of time on it in the last 10 years. But yeah, it was quite thought-provoking for me this week, thinking about that. So I wanted to share it with you, and I'd love for you to leave me comments, questions about your faith, how you came to that, if you've explored other religions, people you know, whatever, because it's very fascinating to me, and I think a good question to be asked. So that's it. I'm finished in Bali. In 12 hours I fly out, and my year here has finished, and I've met some amazing people, and I cannot wait to be coming to you next week from somewhere in sunny Brisbane. And Queenslanders, I'll be on the doorstep tomorrow morning, but back home. So looking forward to catching up with you for a beer or a coffee and a chat, and watch the Pacific Ocean roll in. Have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday, and I'll see you all very soon. Unlikely Pilgrim signing out from Bali. Bye.